And women can get so pushy about, I'm just going to add things to myself. I'm going to make myself better. I'm going to force myself to work out. I'm going to do the darn thing. I know I can do it. I want it. I know I can do it. And they don't understand what's happening.
A butterfly, that caterpillar has every property needed to become the butterfly. The acorn, everything that's in that acorn is what's needed to become the oak tree. It's not like you're becoming a fundamentally different human. And most of my life, I lived like that's what I needed to do. Michelle, I was so much like, if I could just escape this body and become someone totally different, I could be lovable and worthy and same human.
I think that it is. I think that it is easier than we allow it to be. I think what you said is true about all of us. I mean, we're just taught that, we're conditioned to be that way, we're raised that way. It's human nature, and especially for women, by the time they are like, have decades of experience, that we just don't have time to like release everything and be aware all the time. We're just like trying to juggle so much stuff. So I really think that it's largely about releasing and standing with acceptance, like you said, welcoming it in. And that's part of the Sedona method. They call it that. It's like welcoming. And it sounds so goofy and so simple. And I remember the guy who was teaching it, I was just like, he's like a little gnome. He's just like a little happy person. And it's annoying because I was, I think, 20 and I was, knew everything that ever would be revealed in the galaxy, when you're very wise. Your heart shrivels up. It's kind of like, that's why I think so many of the women that I talk to are really discouraged and not understanding why, because they've created this persona of trying all the time. As long as I'm a good girl, and I tell everyone, well, I'm working on the weight loss, or I'm working on the business, or I'm working on I don't care what it is, like the relationship. I'm really making an effort. And then I come back to the comfort of, well, as long as you're working on it, when in fact, it's not difficult. We get addicted to the effort and the difficulty, I think, when in fact, when you just stand in who you are and let that be enough, because you have to do that to yourself. No one else does it. They never have, they never will. You're waiting for the prince, he's never coming. So you have to stand in yourself. Well, actually, he's right now. I think he's around. I think
Hold on, I changed my mind.
That might be him, but actually, oh yeah. And then you marry the same guy you married the last, whatever. I don't know. I'm just playing.
And one thing I recognize doing grief work with people is a lot of our emotions show up in patterns in different relationships. You can trace it back to that emotional imprint from when you were little. And you just recognize, oh, it's just the way I was interpreting the world. It's not me. And then the ice begins to melt from the ice tray, and there's room for adjustment. But so when you're doing that work, and people can access this all differently, just like you said, it's not like no one needs to go through the work that I do or through, right? There's different modalities and different ways, but the access of recognizing that we are not our feeling thought patterns, and that it's accessible to us to just to do something different than the way we've always done it. And thankfully, our brains are designed and created in such a way, and our nervous system, that it cooperates, it reorients, it shifts, there's plasticity, there's room for change. Like, we were designed for this. So we're not stuck. Even when we think we're stuck, we're actually not stuck. And and I'm stuck, by the way, that's a thinking strategy to keep you stuck. It's just a thought error. It can be shifted just like any other thought. So that's my rant.
Yeah, I like to think of there's so many things. Let me comment on a few of them. So,
Oh,
um,
I not like
it's a lot like our relationship with Google, where when you when you're describing the childhood patterns that we repeat, right? So we search for something and then we get fed back what so this is why we have so much
Yes,
vision right now.
that's our relationship
Because
with Google.
I
Yes.
I know. That's what I'm
I
trying.
just got the analogy. I'm sorry. I'm a little slow on the uptake.
Okay, so this is partially, actually, this is a large reason why there's so much divisiveness in the world right now. Because if I let's take a controversy like to mask or not to mask, right? So if you're in that differentiation, um, and you Google it and you start watching YouTube videos on all the reasons you should not wear a mask, you're going to get more and more and more and more of that. And this it's just like when you click on that really cute, oh my gosh, this really cute purple skirt that I saw that I wanted. And I was like, okay, I'm not like, I don't go anywhere in any way. I got to lose weight before I could fit back in that size. I'm not going to buy it. It just keeps showing up and keeps showing up. Now, personally, I appreciate it because I don't want to forget the purple skirt. But in terms of reinforcing your belief system about something, all of a sudden, not really all of a sudden, but gradually you begin to see the world based on that initial Google search.
Yes.
Because every time you reinforce that you are interested or that you are vulnerable to that particular viewpoint, you're going to see more of it. The world's going to show. And that is why when people say the world is your mirror, and
Absolutely.
everyone is you pushed out. I don't know if you've heard that term. That is
No.
the truth. Every person you meet, every interaction you have, every circumstance, every condition is because of your perception. You know, I think Wayne Dyer made this statement really famous, or somebody, one of those guys, that when you change the way you look at things, the way you think,
The way you
the
look at
way the things you look at change, and that is a literal
it's
quantum
yes.
physics will show you that this is the truth. So when you keep marrying the same guy or having the same argument, and it's not about intellectualizing, to your point, it's not about, God, we're stuck here, no, because when you say that and you put your attention on the stuckness, it's just like putting another search into Google saying, show me more stuckness. I'm
Yes.
stuck. I want to see more YouTube videos on what it feels like, what it looks like, and
Yeah.
we just keep reinforcing the same thing. So it's so simple.